Deputy Minister in the Presidency, Pinky Kekana, has concluded a community engagement with residents in Botshabelo outside Bloemfontein. So Botshabelo was the scene of periodic and often violent service delivery protests in 2021. Kekana's engagements form part of the build-up to President Cyril Ramaphosa's imbizo in Bloemfontein tomorrow. Newzroom Afrika senior reporter Tumaole Mohlaoli is there with a debrief of what we heard. Tumi?
Well, definitely, and just a bit of background, of course, as you mentioned, that Botshabelo was the scene of very disruptive and sometimes violent service delivery protests under the banner of the shutdown movement, and residents here were complaining about a myriad of issues specifically linked to service delivery around infrastructure, including, of course, water and sanitation. Many residents here are still using the bucket system, and they're saying that they feel far-flung. As far-flung as Botshabelo is from Bloemfontein, they say that, of course, they feel that the municipality has ignored them and largely forgotten them, despite them engaging and requesting services. Another issue is the issue of unemployment. High youth unemployment is a major concern, and the lack of recreation facilities. But let's hear from Deputy Minister in the Presidency, Pinky Kekana. Minister, what is the engagement all about, and what was the feedback that you got specifically from residents here?
Look, today here at Botshabelo, we were meeting with community health care workers, NGOs, men's forum, churches, and other community-based organizations. The focus was more on vaccine hesitancy, because the area of Botshabelo, the general performance on vaccination is at 40%. And the bigger chunk of people who vaccinated are from the age of 12 to 17, which is the little ones who go to school, and the aged. So young people from between 20 and 51, 52, most of them are unemployed and are not up to take the vaccine. And they were saying part of the reason was that, one, when vaccination started here, the elderly were given 100 rand as an incentive, and that was discontinued. And secondly, they feel that because the majority of people are unemployed here, and this goes to the misinformation, they think vaccination is a mechanism to deal with them and make them to perish, because we want to control the element of unemployment and kill little young people because most of them are not employed, which is part of the social media issues, including other social media related things, you know, the 666 and all those things that they were talking about. But there was one other element which also came very sharply, where the healthcare workers are saying, look, even ourselves as healthcare workers are demotivated to do door-to-door because we are only earning 3,700. And when people were appointed to come and deal with screening and all these things, we were overlooked, and those people were given more allowance than us. So we don't feel why we should go all out and mobilize people. That's the one. And the second one, they were also saying, even if we do mobilization and we say, today vaccination is going to be at Clinic U, people go there in their numbers until 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, then they are told, no, the vaccine people are no longer coming. So the level of trust to say, yes, we'll be coming on this day, and please make sure that all of you are there, has been one of the things. So we have to really correct and get our houses right from the department side to make sure that if we did mobilization and we said to people who are coming, let's honor that, including when we take mobile units to communities, because the other issue is distance. People are not working, the vaccination center is somewhere else. So they are saying, because people cannot afford transport, let's bring mobile units to communities. But even when we do that, let's make them aware, because as long as we don't make them aware and make community health workers to mobilize them, they will not come out because they don't trust some of these things. They want ordinary faces and familiar faces that are used to. So this is the kind of feedback we are getting. But they are also saying, let's change the tone, let's go to taverns, let's reach out, call campaigns, do district events, local events, tournaments, and so on. And as we do that, and let's make sure that the vaccine unit is also there, so that as kids are doing weather arts, weather sports, or whatever, we also do the vaccine rollout. So it's a message that we got. But the other element was that there are those foreign nationals who don't have documentation, who also do not want to come for vaccination. So it's something that we must also do outreach to them to say it's about your health. Please, let's all make sure that we vaccinate.
Was the issue of service delivery in terms of what's been going on here in Botshabelo, lack of water, lack of infrastructure, generally a feeling that people have been forgotten by the council, also raised with you?
No. Today, on this one, the focus was more on vaccination. But I'm a champion of Fezile Dabi district for the district development model, and 2 days ago I was there. Look, the issues of Free State are cross-cutting across all the districts. The sewer running in all the districts, and I think one of the things that we'll also say, and this is not my message, but the message from all the municipalities there, to say, maybe motivate to the president to say, our municipalities, even if we want to correct the situation, because the company that did this was appointed to roll out sewer or correct the sanitation around the Free State. Municipalities with pressures that they have will not be able to appoint technical people like engineers and so on. Let's look at DBSA, let's look at Public Works National, let's look at Transnet and PRASA, where we have engineers who can be seconded to these municipalities to help them to correct this situation quickly, because the issues are not right. Where you have sewer running, it's a health hazard, and it's not unique to Fezile Dabi, but across, including the water issue, and that also cuts across. So I think it's one of the things that we'll share with the president to say, can't we look at the situation differently? And if there are excess engineers in our departments and so on, let's second them to the Free State, at least for 2 to 3 years, to turn the situation around and help these municipalities to get the situation right, so that our people can live a healthy life. So it's one of the things that one is going to motivate based on the outcome of the imbizo that we had at Fezile Dabi in Metsimaholo.
All right, thank you very much for that
Thank
update. That was Deputy Minister in the Presidency, just giving us, of course, what is the situation when it comes to the community engagement that was taking place here in Botshabelo. And the focus and the gist of it was around vaccination and debunking, as Deputy Minister in the Presidency, Pinky Kekana, mentioned, the myths and the lack of, it seems, enthusiasm, particularly around young people, to get vaccinated. And the message was clear that people must go get vaccinated and only rely on reliable sources of information from the government. But also the issue of infrastructure is something that will be taken to the president as he engages with the communities and the issues around Mangaung, and especially here in Botshabelo, the issues of infrastructure. We have seen that the violent service delivery protests were centered around that particular issue, and this is something that, of course, the president will be speaking to as well. So with that, the meeting has wrapped up, and this is the precursor of course, to the presidential imbizo, which will kick off tomorrow. With that, it's back to you in the studio, Dudu.
Tumaole, Mohlaoli in Botshabelo in the Free State for us. Thank you very much for that update.